Hilton and Molly, some of your first presenters. We'll also have a presentation by Pat Mazzala, and she'll introduce herself when she comes up. The idea for this breakout is from TED, Conversations That Matter on the Internet, 15 minutes of whatever you want to say to the world, whatever you're passionate about and want to share. So we'll talk about that a little more. So I really wanted to do something like that and thought it would be different and exciting. And hopefully it works. Hopefully you like it. And this is worth your time being in here. I am a fire and life safety educator at Rapid City Fire Department. I was recently with the State Fire Marshal's office in Utah, but love it in Rapid City. And sorry, people from Utah. I also work with NFPA in their education section. They have the education division. They have a network, and they have one person from every state who needs to interact and with a regional manager so that the national group of people trying to run everything to give you the products that you need to get that information. And so I do that for the northwestern states. Colorado's no longer one of my states, unfortunately, but it was when I very first started in that job and started coming to this conference because of that. And haven't missed yet. I'm so excited to be here again this year. We'll talk a little bit more about those things, but I don't want to take up too much of Dayna's time here. So we will give some time over to Dayna Hilton. She's been NFPA Educator of the Year. She is all-around guru of all things teaching children especially, and using technology in the classroom. She's done this so well that I asked her to present, and 15 minutes was not enough time for her to talk about all of the things that were needed. So we're giving her quite a bit of time to talk with us, and then we can certainly ask questions during, but we'll have some time to discuss. I want after each presentation for us to be able to talk with the presenter, but also amongst each other. How could you incorporate this? Get that networking, the juices flowing so it starts getting into your own brain. You remember this 5 days later when you're back home. All right, Dayna, thank you.
Hi, thank you, Monica, and hi, everybody. How are you? Thanks so much for having us today. Molly and I are really excited to be here. We're coming to you from Sparkles Clubhouse in Clarksville, Arkansas, and Molly's going to be probably up and about today. Normally when we Skype with children, she sits here beside me the whole time. But she just got a new bone from somebody today, and she is just dying to get at it. So she'll be up and about. But Molly is 9 months old, and she is going to be a wonderful fire safety dog. And a little bit later, if we have some time, we'll let Molly show you some of the tricks that she does. Right, Molly? She can open the mailbox back here and get the mail out of it and do a bunch of things for the kids. So I wanted you to at least say hi, see her first, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Here, Molly, go get your bone. All right. So, like I mentioned, we're coming to you from Sparkles Clubhouse. And here is the outside of the clubhouse. And this is throughout this presentation today, I'm going to be giving lots of tips because Skyping is something that I've had to learn a lot on everything I had to learn on my own. So I wanted to share tips with you. So one of the tips is that you can show pictures on your iPad. This is a really easy way to go through pictures and to share with your audience. So there we go. And we'll talk a little bit more later about other ways in which you can share information. But that's Sparkles Clubhouse. We Skype just about every week. And we Skype not only with schools in the United States, children in the United States, but we also Skype with children in other parts of the world. We've Skyped with about 5 countries now. Now, even though we have we've been doing this for quite a while, Skype is something that is very, very easy to do, and anybody can do it. It's free. The only thing that is required that you need is a computer, and a webcam, and I have brought some different examples of webcams. Now, I have a webcam right on my computer, and I use that one for the most part. If you can get a webcam, I just saw one at Walmart about a week and a half ago. I picked one out for somebody, and it was just $29.99, and I couldn't believe the quality and how amazing, how clear the picture was, how clear the sound was, and it was very reasonably priced. They've really gone down in price. They have webcams that you can put on your laptop like this. There are also, this is one of the more expensive ones that I have, and honestly, I don't use this one very much at all. Just for the fact that, I don't know, it's just a hassle, but it's very fancy. It has sound coming out, I think, 2 or 3 different places, but like I said, I don't use that very much. But there's a whole variety out there, and also webcams. You can use them. Hi, Molly. According to what you're doing. Now, if I'm doing something to where I want to show the children something in the room, I might use something like this that's a little bit more transportable. So anyway, we've been Skyping since 2010, and hang on just a second. That was oh, I lost you. So there's another tip for you. Make sure you have your phone turned off during your Skype visit. Now, I had Monica do that on purpose because I wanted just to remind you, and I know you probably already do this in your fire safety presentations, but have that phone turned off. It's really embarrassing whenever you're going really good and you're visiting with children and all of a sudden the phone rings. It just breaks the stride and just takes you away from that moment. And I'm sure you've had that happen to you before in presentations and other things. I have too. I've Skyped and forgotten to turn off my phone. Fortunately, my phone makes a barking sound. So if the phone does ring accidentally, I'll pick it up and I'll go, "Oh, hey Tango, how you doing?" And I can get away with it because I could tell the boys and girls it's one of the dogs calling me. But then I turn it off really quick. So anyway, Skype is free and Skype is fun. Now, Skype is something that, and sorry if that moved a little bit, Molly's right underneath me. Oh, she's caught in the cords. There's another tip for you. If you have an animal helping you, have the cords put up. Okay, Skype is free, Skype is fun, and it's a great way. It has many, many benefits. Some of the benefits that I found is that, well, first of all, let me just share with you that I am a volunteer firefighter in a rural community, and it was very challenging for me to be able to reach schools. First of all, the fire department doesn't have any funding for fire safety education efforts, and none of you have any of that problem, right? Yeah, funding is a problem, and also it is a great benefit to be able to reach more children, or the audience that you want to reach more, to just reach more. We've reached, I think, since October, almost 2,000 children from, I think, 15 states. And we've reached about 31 schools. Now, the dogs and I could never have done that. It would be wear and tear on the dogs. It'd be wear and tear on me. As I get older, it's just lugging equipment around and everything just gets more and more challenging. And the cost, we started a foundation called the Keep Kids Fire Safe Foundation, and this is how much we have for travel. And speaking of that, Monica, can you get to where I can see you for a second? Here, Molly. So, I want to share a story and Monica and I want to share a story with you of an experience that we had. I thought I had a free ticket, and I thought Monica and I were visiting. Initially, I was going to do just like I was doing now, but then I decided, oh my gosh, I have a free ticket. I want to go to Utah. So, Monica, I texted you a note, and then what started happening?
So at first it was like, this will be great. Let's come to Colorado. We'll not have to worry about, working the Skype thing out. You'll be here in person. And then it was, okay, so we need to make sure that we can get a registration here comped, which was not a problem. They're fabulous. We also needed to make sure that we had a way to get her and an animal from the airport here, not in a shuttle. We needed to make sure, because the way the timing was, that on Friday when she's going to be live streaming her show for preschool students, that there would be a local place. She could do it here and do it on location.
So there were the stress level. Okay, here's we're going to Skype and it's going to be fun. The stress level all of a sudden went like this, didn't it, Monica? Because we didn't realize all the logistics. And so here it goes. I'm getting stressed. I'm like, how's this going to work? The logistics. And so that's another thing that can be very challenging. When you Skype, you don't have to worry about, like I said before, lugging equipment around, traveling, the cost of traveling. You may have the resources there at your fire department or your organization that you can utilize right there. You may have a fire truck you can use as a background. You may have a firefighter that you can say, hey, can you come over and dress out for me because I'm getting ready to do a Skype visit with school children. So it's all right there, and you don't have to take all your equipment to wherever you go. We Skyped at the Chicago Fire Department last October, and it took 3 days to pack, however many hours to get there, and my truck was completely full of stuff. You have to have people help you unload, and you have to, blah, blah, blah. You have to make sure you have a good internet connection and all that, and that can be really challenging. So one of the benefits with Skyping is that it's a whole lot easier. And you can sit there and Skype. When we were Skyping with students from Chicago, we were just doing back-to-back schools. We had a break in between, and we were able to reach more children. Now, like I said, as we go through this, don't be afraid. Don't think, we're not going to reach that many people, or we'll never be able to do that or whatever. Well, you can, really. It depends on you. Nobody's telling you, I want you to, well, actually, you might have somebody tell you, you might have your chief tell you that they want you to reach so many, but, you can decide what you want to do. It's up to you and your limitations that you have. So, let's see what else. Oh, one of the things that you may be wondering in your mind is, well, Dayna, this seems like this is less personal. This, that you don't have the one-on-one, you don't, or the you with the group and all of that. Well, I can share with you two things. One is, if you're not reaching that age group anyway, or those classes anyway, what are you losing? You're losing being able to do that. And then the other thing is, Monica, help me. I just lost my train of thought.
Well, we found it still was, as I was practicing, because I haven't done this before, and and so we just Skyped from my office, and it was personal. I could see you, we could talk with each other. We just had to remember to let one person talk at a time. My microphone didn't work well with two. We even had someone walk in and he's like, "Oh, that sounds like Dayna." I'm like, "Oh yeah." So now there's two of us trying to squeeze our faces into the camera so we can both talk to her.
It's a lot of fun, and you can see the children. They can see you. I have, sorry, dog in the house. If you only knew what she was doing. Okay, anyway, they can, it is a personal feeling, and we've gotten a lot of feedback from teachers and students that the children really did learn a lot, and that they were able to retain it just as if we were there. So that's just something to keep in mind. You know, you might think, well, I won't have that connection. Well, it can happen. It can happen, and I can share with you that it can be an amazing experience for you. So, once you can sign up for Skype free on the web. Just go to Skype.com, sign up, and then you're ready to roll. And Monica, it didn't take you long at all, did it?
No, it didn't. I mean, you got the account, and you asked me what my name was, and it was even easier because you found me.
Yeah, and it's real simple to sign up. And what you doing, Molly? And so it's real easy to sign up. Then what you want to do is put your idea together. What do you want to do? Do you want to, here Molly, up. Do you want to Skype with a class? Do you want to Skype with an assembly, like with a whole bunch of students? What is it that you want to do? And also, what is your program? You can just take the program that you do normally and adapt it for Skyping. And it can be done just as well. The only thing is you don't have the tactile. You know, you can't touch the turnouts or see, you know, you can't touch things, but still I think it's a great way to be able to get your message across. So you want to develop your program. Also, do you want to have your program evaluated? And I've sent to Monica some information to share with you on the different evaluation methods that we use to see if there was any knowledge gained or not. Now, if evaluations scare you or you don't want to do an evaluation, that's not something you have to do, but it's nice to do because you want to know, at least we do, if we're making a difference. So you'll find in that email that Monica's going to send you a lot of different resources that you're welcome to look at, and you're welcome to get some ideas from. So what do you need on your end? Like I said, you need a computer, you need a webcam. The teachers, I've also provided a link with Monica because I don't really want to go into too much of that. I'd rather provide you with tips today. I provided her with a link on what teachers need. And it's basically what you see right there. You need a screen, a microphone, a webcam, and an audience. So let's see, and we went over the different types of webcams. Now the setting, think about this. Think about how nice it would be to be able to Skype and to do it in one location, and to always, this is an option, to have your equipment set up to where you just go in and you Skype, and you don't have to set it up every time, or you don't have to move around a lot. Does that make sense? It's really nice not to have to go to school and just leave your equipment, and then they're basically coming to you and nothing moves. But if it does, and you can also just set up on the fly, where you may one day decide you want to do something out in the bay, and then the next time you may want to do something in the training room. It's very simple. As easy as moving your computer around. One thing also that you do need that I forgot to mention is a Wi-Fi connection. And a Wi-Fi connection is pretty important because without it you wouldn't be able to Skype. Some people can Skype from their phones, some people can Skype from their iPads, but I would actually recommend that you actually Skype from your computer. Sometimes the iPads and the phones don't have as good a connection. We had one teacher who Skyped us on an iPad. I didn't know she was going to be using an iPad. And I couldn't figure out why the connection was so bad. This was like towards the beginning. And then I found out she had an iPad. That is the reason. One teacher, her computer just died on her. And she decided she was going to Skype with her class on her cell phone. Okay? And her class, I saw a picture. She has like 10 students around her phone, looking at her phone, trying to see me and trying to see Molly, and they're all like this, and you know, it was just really challenging for them to be able to do it. They did it, but it just wasn't as effective, was it, Molly?
Dayna,
Yes.
that was something that we ran in this morning. We were double checking all of our connections and that, and we were using the Wi-Fi in the hotel, and we couldn't get a connection with internet. So we had to go with my cell phone, and that's part of why the sound kind of goes in and out, and things are a little bit lagging sometimes because I had backup, I had redundancy, but the Wi-Fi wasn't what we had used to.
Yeah, and one tip I can share with you is something that I didn't realize until about a week ago, is that if you have Skype on your phone and you have Skype on your computer, it's not going to work. You need to turn off one. You need to turn off one or the other because they're going to be conflicting with each other. And that's what Monica that we had happen is that it was conflicting because it wanted to call my phone. No, Skype wanted to call my computer, and then the reception just got really bad. So I ended up turning off my phone altogether. Okay, so we were talking about settings. We were talking about how you could either just set it up and have it static where it didn't move, or you could have it more portable. A couple of tips as far as your settings go. You want to make sure that you have good lighting. A lot of times, bays don't have good lighting. They might, but sometimes we found that most times they don't. So you might want to use. A lot of times they just use the lights off the truck. I'm not sure what they call. Maybe somebody could help me with that. But the lights you would use in an incident for as a source of lighting. You also need to make sure to be mindful of sounds that might be in the area. For example, I can't have my fan on here in the clubhouse even though I get really, really hot because the fan is just way too loud and it's too distracting. Any type of background noise, like people in an office or that sort of thing, can be distracting whenever children are really trying to listen to the message. And that's another thing too about the setting. What I have back here is a lot to look at, but if you can keep your set simple. I wanted to share a picture of our very first set, and all it was a sheet, and I still use it. It was cheap. Here it is. I just had a friend paint the background to look like a fire truck. See that? And I just sat in front of a chair and Skyped. Now today, let's see. This is the table that I'm using that I have my computer on. And you'll see it's about waist high. That's a really good height for me, and it also allows me to put all of my props around where I'm sitting. Now I have the computer sitting up on a little basket that I got at Dollar General store. Can everybody see that? That way I can see you straight on. If I had the computer on the table, I'd be looking down at you. So I want to try to get my eye level straight with where you are. And let's see what else. You can also stand. I like to stand when I Skype too. Whenever I don't have the dogs with me, I like to sit here because I have a dog with me. But you can stand, and this is how we have it set up. If we stand, we just have a AV cart, put the computer on there, and you don't have to have anything fancy. We've live streamed from fire departments before and used like a pot or a pan, a pot and pan to put the computer up. Just something, doesn't matter what it is. Just something to get it to where you can see. Let's see what else. Outside, it's a little bit harder to Skype because you have a lot of distractions, noises. Also, the lighting can be really, really harsh. Hey, Monica, I'm going to show the difference in the lighting. And Molly's really needing to go out, so I'm going to head over to my light, and I want to show everybody, explain what we did this morning, okay, while I go change my lights.
So when we first were checking this at 10 o'clock, making sure it's all going to work out, she was really washed out. It was hard to see her. In fact, when she was showing us different ways, things she was down tips, they actually improved things because there was so much light. So when she got up and switched the light, it made a ton of difference. I know some people who have done video blogs and that, where they have a mic that they can put to them. We'll go and use outside, just use natural lighting, some good lighting too. But the cameras made a huge difference.
I'm coming. Hang on just a second. It's so tiny in here that I have a lot of stuff to navigate around.
A fire and life safety educator was stuck.
I know, imagine. What's up with that? Okay, so this is the lighting in the clubhouse, the overhead lighting. We'll see what a difference this makes. Do I look different? Is it not as bad as it was earlier?
Your hair, when you would be moving around when we were starting, because your hair reflects so much of the light too. It was putting your face into shadows.
Yes. And speaking of reflections, I brought a couple of things to show you. Things you might not want to wear when you're Skyping. You may wear your uniform, and that's great. If you wear a white shirt, if there's another color that you could wear, that would be awesome. I try not to wear white because it really, really reflects. I don't know if you can see that, but it's all about the reflection. And then this is also something that you would want to try to get away from. See what that print does to you? That's
trying to get sick.
So, if you could try to stay away from things like that. Also, did I already talk about the hats and everything?
No, we haven't done that yet.
Now, this is what I wear around the house or when I'm out driving around town. I wear my Duck Dynasty glasses, and Monica laughs at me. So, this is something, if you're outside, this would be really hard for children to relate to you. They really want to see your eyes. So, get rid of the glasses if you're outside. And even if you're inside and you're in the station, get rid of the cap, because you can hardly see you can't see my face as well. And children really want to be able to see your face and what you have going on. Monica, I got to change my lights real quick because these other ones are killing me. Hang on a second. I wish I would have brought, I didn't even think to bring the lights that I used to use. You know the lights you can get at like a feed store. They're like a you say brooder or broder? Somebody help me with that. Chickens? Brooder? No?
I
Oh.
don't know. The chickens.
Well, anyway, chicken lights. They're big and they're silver, okay? And I would just take a bungee cord and attach them to whatever I could find. You know, we did it on the cheap, and it can be done. And so you just get the soft light bulbs, and there you go. You have lights. A couple other tips, too, I want to share, because I don't know how we're doing on time, Monica.
We need to get close to wrapping up, but we've got some time.
Okay.
At least another 5 minutes.
You might notice that I have some notes that I'm looking at every once in a while. This is what they started out this morning, because I didn't actually work on this presentation till last night. I hate to say. But anyway, this is what I had before, just before we went on, and I thought, you know, I need to retype these. And actually, they need to be a bigger font. I can tell you that if you need a cheat sheet, it's okay. What I do is I just take my cheat sheet and I set it right on my keyboard. Now I may look down every once in a while, but it's not like I'm going like this or this, you know. And I've tried everything. I've tried, I have one of these wipe and write boards, one of these big duties here, and I've tried putting it up from the ceiling to where I can read my notes, and it's like, that just doesn't work. So it's okay to do that. Another great tip that I love these. I don't know if you've seen these. Have you seen, has anybody seen a boogie board before? You can get these at Staples. And what's really nice about these is you can write your cheat sheet here. Like you may want to start out with your intro, and then you may want to go into your escape plan or whatever it is that your lesson plan that you're following. Then, sorry, there's a glare. And that's another thing too, you want to make sure if you are holding out something up for the boys and girls to see how I'm angling it back a little bit? When I do this, look what happens. It's totally washed out. So whenever I show pictures, I do this. But anyway, this is really nice. You can write all your cheat sheet. You can write everything down ahead of time. Just make sure you do not push the button until you're ready to erase this. I had a child in here one time with me when we were live streaming a show. And you know how they are, so inquisitive. And she goes, "What does that button do?" Think. And I'm like, ah. You know, at first I can tell you, I mean, it can be a little scary when you're thinking Skype. Man, that's going to give me butterflies in my stomach. And you know, it did that with me, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes, and you'll just be so happy that you found another way to help get the fire safety message across. A couple other tips that are really important, I think. They have an option called Group Skype. So what that means is, and I think it's maybe $30 a year or something, I'm not sure, but Skype has this option where you can Skype with one or more people. So basically what that means, during Fire Prevention Week, for example, if you have a whole lot of classes or a whole lot of schools to do, you could Skype up to 2 or 3 schools at once. And so that's a really, really nice feature. And basically, I was going to share some tips on how to contact the schools and that sort of thing, but you'll find those tips on the sheet that Monica's going to share with you. Let's see. You can also use your phone to show pictures. I did this at first too, before I got the iPad given to us. You could just show your picture on your phone, and that works great. Same thing with putting your picture at an angle. Do you know that you can use mostly pictures in your presentation? That's what I do. Like for today, what I'm doing is, yes, I have the basic outline, but I have the pictures to guide me through my presentation. So that's an option. Let's see. I think I've really covered everything. Monica, I think what I'll do is I'll write all these tips down. I kept adding them like I had mentioned to you. I'll put those on a sheet and you can share those with everybody too. Yeah, so why don't we
Could you just for a minute tell us about your preschool show?
Sure. We have a program that's already put together, that I put together, and basically what we do, first of all, if we're Skyping with somebody, we like to tell them where we are. Like I'll show them a picture of the clubhouse, and you could do that with your fire stations. You could say, we're coming to you from station 4. Do that, and then we get right into it. I have a children's book that I wrote called Sparkles the Fire Safety Dog. And I go by this book. I just read the book to the children, and then we talk about, we do all sorts of things when we're reading the book. Like there's a part in here where it says Sparkle's going for a ride in the fire truck, and I'll ask the children, what's a fire truck sound like? So throughout the book, we have a lot of interaction back and forth. So you can find a favorite book that you may like and do the same thing. So we read the book, and like I said, throughout, it's a great way to gauge how many children know what a smoke alarm is, have an escape plan, have a meeting place. I would say typically, whenever we do a presentation and I'm reading the book, it says like, one of the things says, you should have a home escape map and practice your home fire drill 2 times a year. And I'll say to the boys and girls, how many of you have an escape map? And maybe half or maybe hardly any will raise their hand. So then that's telling you that's something I really need to go over. Then we sing a song. If I had Molly in here, I'll go ahead and sing it for you guys if you promise not to laugh at my singing. Okay. It's really kind of hard because I tend to hide behind my dog, I've noticed in my presentations when I'm by myself. I'm like, I'm so shy. Okay, so here we go. So then we sing the Get Out song. We're talking about how important it is to get out and stay out. So, and you're welcome to use this song too. I didn't write it, but I got it from somewhere, and it's a great song to use with kids. So I'll just tell the boys and girls that we are going to sing a song, and I'm going to sing it the first time, and then they can join me the second time through. So I'll say, are you ready, boys and girls? Yay, we're ready. Okay. Are you ready, Molly? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay. If there's a fire in your house, get out, stay out. You guys can sing it with me if you want to. If there's a fire in your house, get out, stay out. If there's a fire in your house, then your smoke alarm will shout. If there's a fire in your house, get out, stay out. And then I'll invite everybody to join in, and all the boys and girls to join in, and we have so much fun with that. We also talk about, hang on just a second. This is something that would be very easy for you to do. I drew out a picture of our escape map. So I go over with the boys and girls how important it is to have an escape map, and depending on the age, I'll get more detail for the older children, but for the younger kids, I'll say, you want to have 2 ways out of every room. And I'll show them this. And then that's that. And I was going to say, if you have some way to give an incentive for that particular school, like let's say that school is on the other side of, it's farther away and you don't get to go to that school very often. What you can do as an incentive for these children is to say, okay, boys and girls, if you go home tonight and you make an escape map and you bring it and you show it to your teacher, we will bring you a trading card, a hat, or whatever. You would be amazed how many kids go home that night and come back with an escape map. And then, of course, you want to tell them to take it back and put it on their refrigerator. That's also a great way. That's also a great evaluation method, isn't it, Monica? Then
Got some things to count.
Yeah, exactly. You know that you have You've done your job, and the kids, they'll do anything for something that just a little something. So, and then we administered the junior firefighter oath. Would you like to hear the junior? Anybody? Oh, why not? Okay, here we go. So we have the boys and girls raise their right hand, and I'll say, repeat after me. I promise.
I promise
To practice fire safety.
to practice fire safety
Every day.
every day.
Congratulations, you're all junior firefighters. Woo! Then what you can do, I wish I had it here with me. I don't. You can make up a junior firefighter certificate. I think there might be one in the links that I sent Monica. Make one up for your department and then put that on your website, and they can go download their own copy. And speaking of website, how do I reach all these schools with this? How do I get to Skype with all these schools? Put it on your Facebook page. Well, first put something on your web page or your Facebook page saying, we want to Skype with schools. And then have a place where they can go to sign up. Having an application form is a good thing to do. Why? Because you know what age you're doing, what age. You also find out if maybe they're in a higher risk area, and you may know that there's another type of message that you need to do in that particular area. And the list goes on. So if you can have just some sort of short application form, you want to know their Skype name, you would like to have a contact name, and the age. It doesn't have to be anything really, really complicated. Now, if you look at the materials that I sent Monica, I kind of tend to overdo a little bit, so you don't have to do anything that complicated at all. It could be very, very simple. You can even do a short pre and post test, and that's also in the materials that